Working in a lab can be fascinating and rewarding. However, anytime you are working with chemicals, glassware, or open flames, there are some potential safety risks. The good news is that nearly all of the safety risks in the lab can be avoided. In this video, we will demonstrate some basic rules for lab safety that should be followed by everyone in the laboratory. The first rule for lab safety is start with a lab that is well lit, well ventilated, and free of clutter. Before starting any lab experiment, make certain the laboratory area has sufficient lighting to clearly see what you are doing. Poor lighting makes it difficult to read meters and indicators. Good ventilation is necessary because some chemicals and chemical reactions produce fumes that are irritating, toxic, or flammable. This reaction produces large amounts of hot vapor that could burn your skin or cause respiratory problems, so we are performing this experiment inside a piece of equipment called a fume hood. The fume hood draws out any gaseous products or toxic fumes through a vent and expels them safely outside. The first rule also says that the lab should be free of clutter. Clutter refers to any items that do not belong in an area or that are arranged in a disorderly manner. Unnecessary books, bags, and papers are clutter and should be kept away from the lab work area. The next important rule for lab safety is always use personal protective equipment in the lab. Personal protective equipment, such as a lab coat or apron, safety glasses or goggles, and gloves, should be worn at all times. Certain pieces of safety equipment are a vital part of the lab. These include a first aid kit to treat minor injuries, an eye wash station to flush your eyes in case chemicals accidentally splash into them, a fire blanket in case clothing catches on fire, and a fully charged Class C fire extinguisher capable of putting out most types of fires. The third rule for lab safety is find the proper place to store chemicals and to dispose of them. Chemicals should always be properly stored and handled. Certain chemicals are relatively safe to handle. These can be stored on any shelf or in any cabinet, as long as the room where they are stored is cool, dry, and secure. Chemicals that are corrosive or caustic, such as acids and bases, should be stored in proper cabinets, such as these. Flammable liquids and gases should also be stored in proper cabinets. After lab experiments are completed, the chemicals used in those experiments should be disposed of properly. Very few chemicals are safe to toss in the trash or dump down a drain, so they should be disposed of in a safe manner in the proper containers. Check your local ordinances on the proper means of disposing of each chemical substance. The fourth rule for lab safety is expect the unexpected. Most accidents can be avoided by planning ahead, which includes knowing what equipment you will need, knowing what chemicals are required and how to handle them, and knowing the location of safety equipment and how to use it. No one can predict the outcome of every situation in the lab, but by planning ahead, you can minimize your risks. The fifth rule for lab safety is take extra caution with hot objects, glassware, and sharp instruments. It is obvious that hot things, broken glass, and knives could cause injury, but sometimes we need to be reminded to be cautious with these things. Use the proper equipment to handle hot things. Tongs should be used to pick up hot beakers. When heating a liquid in a test tube, hold the test tube with a clamp and never point the open end of the test tube toward anyone. Broken glass could cause injury, so if glassware breaks, clean it up as soon as possible. Do not try to pick up pieces of broken glass with your fingers. Instead, use a brush and dustpan to sweep up the glass and dispose of it in the proper receptacle. The last rule covers many aspects of laboratory safety. You should always act responsibly in the lab. Working in the lab should be treated seriously. Running, pushing, or otherwise acting irresponsibly could result in accidents or injuries. By remembering and following these safety rules, you could help prevent a serious injury or even death. To help you remember these rules, the first letter of each rule spells out the word safety. Start with a lab that is well lit, well ventilated, and free of clutter. Always use personal protective equipment in the lab. Find the proper place to store chemicals and to dispose of them. Expect the unexpected. Take extra caution with hot objects, glassware, and sharp instruments, and you should always act responsibly in the lab.